The latest Star Wars series on Disney Plus is The Acolyte. We've often wondered with the $200 million financials that are budgeted out for these projects, whether or not Disney can really afford to be making them, considering the low subscriber numbers on Disney Plus. Well, it seems like showrunner, creator, director, and writer of The Acolyte, Leslye Headland, says they might not even be getting a season 2. Let's talk about that on That Park Place. Hello, I am Jonas J. Campbell, an investigative reporter for That Park Place, and here with me is Acolyte show watcher, Mr. VashSky. Vash, have you been watching The Acolyte very, very closely? Are you okay?
Not willingly, Jonas. Please.
I told you didn't have to watch it, and then everyone in the comment section says, no, he must watch the show. Oh, my. I will say this last week, I actually enjoyed the episode of The Acolyte, not because it was good, but because I knew that they felt like it was really good, and I did not feel like it was. You can read into that as you will. The Acolyte showrunner, Leslye Headland, cast doubt on a second season being made. This from That Park Place and Mr. John F. Trent. He's very handy with all his wonderful articles. Leslye Headland, the showrunner for The Acolyte, recently cast doubt on the idea that the show will get greenlit for a second season. I always love these little pictures here of people dressed in normal things, looking like they're explaining things to people dressed up in costumes. Those are always fun pictures. Speaking with Entertainment Weekly, following the release of the show's 5th episode, Headland said, "Something that I've noticed is first seasons will end on what should have been the break into Act 2. It feels like everyone's really expecting their shows to get a second season. I don't feel like that's a good idea. I wonder why." She then added, "I threw everything into season 1 because who knows what's going to happen." Despite Headland being unsure if the show will get renewed for a second season, she did inform the outlet that she has 4 or 5 major mysteries she'd like to explore if it does. Look at that right there. She's wearing a onesie right there to dress up on the red carpet. That's interesting. Vash, do you think this show is going to get a second season? I'm just going to flat out ask you.
I hope not. No.
If it does, we will be there.
No, that's fine. No, I suppose there's always a chance, right? I mean, look at what Kathleen Kennedy has approved in the past. I mean, it's just, there's always a chance that these things, they get new life, but I don't know. I mean, the fan base is very divided on this show. We've looked at the ratings before. They don't look like any crazy numbers to us. I would say no, but I mean, Jonas, they spend tens of millions of dollars on whatever they want to nowadays. So it really is a crapshoot.
Well, this is the thing that we need to point out, and we're gonna deviate from the article for just a moment. Although whenever I do this, it ends up that John Trent ends up putting this information in the article because he's amazing at what he does. The Acolyte right now, by most accounts, cost probably $180 million. We already know that it cost $50 million before cameras even rolled because of the way that their UK tax filings went for this show. It also was shot over a long period of time. There's so many strange things about this show. Like, for instance, that Leslye Headland was somehow able to pitch her show to Kathleen Kennedy at a time when Bob Chapek was very clear that they were not accepting pitches. And the going theory is that has something to do with Leslye Headland's connection to Harvey Weinstein. There's also that Kathleen Kennedy might have thought that she was very talented and had an amazing show to bring out. I question either Kathleen Kennedy's taste or whether or not that story is true based on what we're seeing from this show. Of course, when you get someone who talks about how their show is Frozen meets Kill Bill, or Jane Austen meets Wuxia films, Shaw Brothers films. I don't mean to conflate those two things there, but she seems to talk like a person who is constantly pitching a show. She sounds like a Hollywood executive. And I don't like this show. I mean, I know I chuckle at the last episode because everyone's, using all these big dramatic lines to talk about, how funny creatures we are. Even at the depths of despair, we view triumph. Or maybe it's the reverse. Who knows what's going on here? But these things cost $200 million to make. That's a standard number for a Star Wars show on Disney Plus. In order to make their money back, Disney Plus specifically has to be getting subscribers right now. They have more people signing up for ad-based Disney Plus at this point, but that's not really doing it. People have to be watching this content in order to justify it. People have to be signing up in order to watch it for this content. So 200 million, that's enough money to shoot a film and put it into theaters and also market the film if you're not Disney. Disney is very easily in that 250 to 350 for shooting, producing, and marketing a film. So when they say that The Acolyte costs 180 million is the figure we saw from New York Times, we're going with 200 million because I'm pretty sure it's more than that. What would be a better use of money at this point? 200 million towards, I don't know, any movie that might make its money back, or another season of The Acolyte that maybe it'll get you some Disney Plus subscriptions. Vash, am I crazy?
No, absolutely not. This show was approved at a time when subscribers were key, subscribers were everything, and content spend, profitability be damned. And now that whole paradigm has changed. So I can't really imagine them wanting to, go through this exercise even further if the viewership is going to be as low as it is. But here's the thing, Jonas, I just don't know. I mean, here's the thing, Jonas, 2 questions for you. 1, does this look like a $200 million production? And then 2, do you think this thing is going to be approved for a second season?
Well, let's start with the first question, of course. Very good place to start. No, this does not look like a $200 million show. I'm going to say Ahsoka was better on the special effects. I saw things on screen in Ahsoka that made me think, okay, I can see where the budget went. They're still overspending, but that one I thought would have been better if it was animated, because I think Dave Filoni's style is better suited towards animation. In this one, there's a lot of people waving around lightsabers in this episode, but other than that, there's a few interior sets that seem to be, I don't know, they don't even look that expensive. If you handed this kind of stuff to guerrilla filmmakers, they could produce something on the level of The Acolyte and then hand it over to a special effects house. If you look at something like Godzilla -1, that obviously cost $12 million. And with discipline, you can shoot something like this for a lot less money. And I think that Disney right now has gotten themselves so bureaucratically entangled that just using the name probably cost them $50 million. And then you have to think about what it's going to cost to shoot this. I think there is so much just bloat in this company that they are clinically incapable of making one of these things on a normal sized budget. Even their animated films, I'm hearing 150 to 200 million, more in that 200 to 250 million dollar range for one of their animated pictures. So any sane person would say no to a season 2 of The Acolyte. And we're hearing figures out of Disney that indicates that it's even lower than Ahsoka. We thought the numbers for Ahsoka were pretty low and that they weren't justifying the expense on Ahsoka. But Ahsoka is apparently getting a season 2. And I don't know why it's getting a season 2, other than the fact that it did end on a cliffhanger. And there's not much going on at the Lucasfilm offices other than Ahsoka season 2. Apparently Skeleton Crew, that kind of flies under the radar. There's some animated projects that are being done. Tales of the Empire just came out. It failed to register on Nielsen. It doesn't have to. It's an animated project. Again, another reason why Ahsoka probably should have been animated. I don't think this is going to get a season 2, but I also didn't think that Ahsoka was going to get a season 2. I also think that Leslye Headland has a very full calendar outside of the Walt Disney Company right now. Also stuff with FX. She's going to Broadway before the end of the year. So I have to think that no, this is probably not going to get a season 2. Of course, the alternative there is that if Leslye Headland leaves, maybe someone else would do a season 2. At this point, I think that they should probably make all Star Wars animated until they have a good idea for how to run this company. I think they need to wait until Mandalorian and Grogu shows up. And then that's the moment when you go live action again. Maybe do Rey in animation for a little while and see how that goes. Of course, at this point, we want to ask our commenters, do you think that The Acolyte is going to get a season 2? There's part of me that wonders if this thing is even going to survive to the end. This is the time when I would also like to bring up that Willow, another Lucasfilm series, was once on Disney Plus, but then Disney decided that it would be better to write the entire thing off for a discount on their taxes. And now that is nowhere available, well, at least not legally. Let us know your thoughts on this entire situation on the comment section down below. Of course, like this video. If you like this video, say a prayer for Vash, because he is apparently dropped out of this video. And consider subscribing to That Park Place for all the news that should be fun.
Thanks for watching That Park Place News. For more information, consider checking out www.thatparkplace.com. And don't forget to subscribe, share, like, and send this out on your favorite social media account.